Welcome to Half the Family with
Alex Bernard Rasmussen.
and me because Andy is in the hospital. But he gets out this afternoon, doesn't he?
Oh, Mom is behind you.
Oh, she's coming in. Are you coming to say hello
Yeah.
before you hit the road?
Hello,
Oh,
I just
she's
want to
leaving.
tell you Andy felt worse yesterday. It feels better today, and he'll be released from the hospital this afternoon.
This afternoon released, but he won't be in tomorrow.
He's having a hard time talking. His throat's really sore.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
All right, I gotta get more slicing and dicing of the
Oh,
dermy.
man, it's like every week with you.
My whole family's getting cut up. I guess you and I, Alex, are the only ones that are not getting sliced up, unfortunately. But
Not today.
such is life, ladies and
Not
gentlemen. But
today.
so yeah, Andy couldn't talk at all yesterday after they did not find any other cancer. They just removed the one little part.
Well, yeah, they opened up his throat. I mean, I don't expect talking would be very easy after that.
Probably not.
I wouldn't think
That's
so.
something to go through. That's something I hope you never have to go through, Alex. Finding out one of your children has cancer. That's not good.
Well, to be a silver lining obnoxious person, it was like, okay, I've had cancer.
Hmm.
Thank you very much.
See,
I had skin cancer. So,
what's with it? You must have gotten it from mom's side.
yeah. Well, you had
See,
melanoma? Well,
that's true. I had melanoma too. Is that a form of
right.
cancer?
Yes, it is the worst skin cancer.
Oh, that's wonderful to know. Was
Um,
that what that was on my right cheek?
yeah, and you know this information.
I don't know. I don't pay
Yes.
attention to that stuff.
Other than when you called me and you're like, I have cancer. I
I
was like,
have
what? Oh, you
cancer.
have melanoma, which, yes, it's cancer, but it's not scary cancer, which same thing with thyroid cancer. It's not scary cancer.
No.
So it's like, yeah, cancer is a scary word, but if you're going to get it, thyroid and skin are the two to go with, I
The
guess.
two routes to take.
Yep. If you had to choose. I look so shiny. I look shiny yesterday.
You're not shiny.
I'm extremely shiny, which in
Not
real
not on
life I
this
don't.
end.
Okay. In real life I don't look shiny, but in this picture that I'm seeing of myself, I look very shiny.
Yeah, it must be the what you're viewing it on because I don't see you shiny at all.
Like, yeah, I look like I have oil covering my face, but whatever.
There you have it. A couple of things we won't be covering today. Basically, the top story is Cohen says he discussed hush money repayment with Trump in Oval Office. Is this thing ever going to end? Do you think?
I don't I can't wait until I never hear the names Trump or Biden ever again.
Well, you hear what happened this morning, right?
No, I haven't heard anything about. You were talking about stuff yesterday. I was like, I don't know anything. I don't know what you're
Well,
talking.
you're lucky.
Yeah, I am. Ignorance is
Yeah,
bliss.
ignorance is bliss in this whole situation because apparently there's a diary out there written by Ashley Biden, Joe Biden's daughter, that says he inappropriately took a shower with her when she was a little girl and made inappropriate contact with her. But now she's saying she wants it back and she doesn't want anybody knowing about it. I mean, this is never going to end now. Now, once again, because of this whole Trump thing, and I just don't see what they're going to find him guilty of it. I don't have a dog in this fight. Yes, I've met former President Donald Trump. I had lunch with him once with a few other people.
Oh crud!
What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. Keep going. Sorry.
Well, tell me, old crow. What are you saying, old crud for?
Keep going. Okay, you've met Donald Trump. It's
Why?
fine.
What,
It's fine.
okay,
Don't worry about
at least you got to tell me what it's about.
it. No, nothing.
Oh God. Well, you can't do that.
It's sorry. ADHD. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess so. But in any case, yeah, I don't. What I'm saying is basically, I don't have a dog in this fight. You did something wrong, you should pay for it. If you didn't do anything wrong, you shouldn't be, crucified for things, because, well, we've talked about this before. When they went after what's his face? I don't remember his name anymore. Bill Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
After having sex with all those different women. We talked about it on the KQ Morning Show. This is a huge mistake because if you do this, I'm not saying what he did was right, but there are a lot of other presidents did the same thing that he was doing, having sex with all these different women at the White House. And if you take this public, this is never going to end. And this is a prime example. It's never going to end because now with that diary out there, and his daughter claiming, and that I don't know if she's saying she didn't do it or they did do it or whatever happened. She wrote it in her diary apparently, and somebody has her diary. But now the woman who had her diary got sentenced to a month in prison. Why, I don't know. But this is never going to end. When this Donald Trump thing ends, if Trump does win the presidency, you're going to probably see Biden go through the same thing, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. We should have never allowed this to go public. Don't you think?
I truly have maybe 2% of an idea about anything that you're talking about.
That's good, though. Well, I mean, it's just one of those situations where Trump did this and Trump did that, and Trump paid off some women's, and then there's Joe Biden took a shower with a little kid, and it was inappropriate, and blah. It's never going to end now. That we open this door, we're going to have to hear about this for the rest of our lives, because basically these egomaniacal politicians do things that you don't even want to know about. I can promise you that. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. The thing about all of it is I don't want to be involved in any of it. I don't want to know about any of it. And politics and everyone that's involved in politics, generally speaking, are people that I don't care to know anything about. And
I agree.
so that's just where I'm at.
Is that weird for you and Andy, since the fact that you were around United States senators and governors and, big time politicians your whole lives? Does that seem kind of weird to you?
Oh, it's like every other time you ask me if things feel weird. It's like that's just how it's always been. So
that's true. It's how it's always been. There were always, like I said, we'd have house parties, and the governor and U.S. senators would come to it, and all that stuff. It was a different. I suppose growing up with a father who's well known, that's just normal for you.
Well, but like, here's the thing. To me, it would be like me in 20 years asking my kids, like, was it weird to you that your dad worked with bicycles?
No,
Like, was that strange to you, the bicycle thing? Like, I'm like, what? I don't know.
Well, no, what I'm saying is basically that, my dad had lunch with the president of the United States. That's pretty damn weird.
Well, your dad saw people that weren't there. So we all have our stuff.
That's true. My dad did see people who weren't there. So maybe that's an even better story. I was just wondering about that, what that would feel like, that if it's uncomfortable or it's comfortable, but it seems like it's like just part of life.
Well, I mean, if it was like they were creepy weirdos, then yes, that would feel weird. But that wouldn't have anything to do with their jobs. It would just be that guy was weird. I mean, I don't care what anybody's job is. I
suppose that's true.
Affect me in any way.
But I mean, that's good that just because somebody's president of the United States is not that big a deal to you. That's, I guess, my point.
I think if I think about who's president of the United States at any given time, really, I just think the person must be, number one, an egomaniac.
Well, there you go.
And number two, just like absolutely bananas, because I don't know why you would want that job. And to think about all of the things, because it's such a game, right? Politics is such a game.
Yeah, no doubt.
You have to play the part and do the things and kiss the baby heads and shake the right hands and talk to the right people and say the right things. And it's like you're basically just a politician robot person.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you have, for years and years and years, you have to have people telling you exactly what you need to do at any given time to become president. Because everything you do. There was a show. I'm trying to remember what it was called. But it was this kid that decided he wanted to be president. And he was in high school or something. And so, the first step is being class president. And then blah, 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 blah. And it was just this whole crazy, ridiculous thing. Every single move he made was calculated because he wanted to become president. And I'm like, that's how it has to be in real life.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If that's where if you know that's what you want to do, it takes a hell of a lot to get there. That is true.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking up what this kid wanting to be. I'll remember. It had Gwyneth Paltrow in it.
It's a movie
No, it was a show.
or was a show? I don't know. I don't know what show she was in. I have no idea.
Hang on. I will find it. I will find it. The Politician is what it was
I
called.
was just called the Paul. I don't know that one. I don't think
It was on Netflix, I think, and there was only one season. No, season 2. There were 2 seasons of it. Yeah, and they were, Rich kid Peyton has always known he's going to be president, but he first has to navigate the most treacherous political landscape of all, high school. That makes it sound not, I don't know. I watched it and I liked it and I thought it was interesting because I was just like, this has got to be what it is if you want to be president. Like, you just have to be a robot person and everything you do revolves around wanting to be president. Because if you do anything, it'll come up eventually.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most public lives in the world.
Well, plus the fact they'll make stuff up anyway.
Well, that's another thing. It's like, even if you make all the right moves and do all the right things, if somebody says something about you, people are probably going to believe it.
Oh, that does happen all the time. I mean, I personally in my life, I was charged with doing things I never even came close to doing. But if you're a well-known person, they're going to make stuff up about you just to try to. I don't know why they do that. I have no idea why they do that because they know it's not true.
Them.
What are you doing?
Those people. I said they.
I know, but why are you yawning so with your mouth hanging open?
Nobody cares.
Yes, they do. They don't want to look down your throat.
I don't think
Impolite.
I don't think this video is that high quality that you can
Yes,
see
it is.
my
You can
throat
see your
if I
tonsils
yawn
and everything.
for 1 second.
Okay, I have to ask you about this because this is happening more and more and more, and it's getting to be quite annoying. Brawl erupts at Northtown Mall Carnival. A brawl at a carnival. Why?
Where is Northtown Mall?
It's out in Blaine, I think.
It's in Minnesota?
Yeah, I think it's in Blaine, Minnesota. I believe that's where it is. Brawl erupts at Northtown Mall Carnival. Officer injured while interviewing. So he's talking to people about it, and then he gets assaulted. That's really nice.
It is.
One of the officers who jumped in to stop the fight suffered a concussion. There's video of all these kids running around just punching the piss out of each other.
Sure.
What are you doing? Brawling teenagers at Northtown Mall Carnival Saturday forced the event to close early and injured one officer who tried to break it up. It is Blaine. Blaine police said Monday.
Yeah.
The fight happened at around 7:30 p.m. on Saturday at the carnival and was captured by drone police footage, which was included in a police news release. Why do you want to cause fights at a kid's carnival?
Why wouldn't you? Is my
Yes,
question.
exactly. It's very exciting.
I think
I don't.
I wake up every morning and think, where's the most fun place I could start a brawl today?
I'd like to start a brawl if I possibly could. The officers working security at the mall had reported roughly 200 teenagers between the ages of 14 and 17 from rowdy behavior about half an hour earlier, police in Blaine said in a release. The video shows 5 teenage girls start fighting. So it was girls that started the fight, not boys. Why do you want to do that?
Yeah, I wonder what was the root cause of the brawl.
I don't know if they say anywhere in here. Maybe I'll get to it.
Probably something dumb like, I like him and you can't like him.
One of the officers, you think it's probably dating a boy or something?
I mean, no, it's probably something trivial and stupid because teenage girls and teenage boys care about really stupid stuff.
I guess. The video shows 5 teenage girls start fighting before several officers step in to break it up. One of the officers tries to pull apart 2 teenagers punching each other, but ends up falling to the ground in a pile with them. The video shows one of the teenagers strike the officer in the head with her elbow as she continues to fight with the other girl on the ground. That officer was later diagnosed with a concussion. Will be off work for at least a week, Blaine Police Captain Mark Boorboom said. Others jump in and start punching or kicking those on the ground. There's video of this. There are tons of kids involved in this fight.
200 is a very large.
200.
I'm gonna fall off.
Why do you want to go to a carnival and get in a fist fight? You're probably right. It's over so who's dating who.
Yeah, or like, you stole my top, give it back.
the violence, and a big part of that is that they witness it on TV every night. So it's like, well, if they can do it, I guess I can do it. It's every day this is happening now
Why not?
because somebody's going to get killed. People have already gotten killed.
I don't know. Where I live, there are no brawls, so
Not a lot of brawling.
I feel good about that.
But you
And
got Booker T. Hodges as your chief of police, so it'll never happen. I like your police chief. He's a great guy.
fantastic.
You know him?
I met him one time at an ice cream event.
At the ice cream event. I remember that's where I met him too.
Cops and Cones.
Cops and Cones was the name of the event.
Yep.
I just don't understand. It was a situation like when I went to school, if a fight broke out, it was between two people, not 55 of them or 200 of them, and it got broken up immediately. I don't know. Do people just think they can do whatever they want now? Is that what the real problem is?
I don't know what the real problem is.
We got to figure out what the real problem. We just can't have people. I mean, Northtown Mall. Whoever thought that Blaine would be a spot where a fist fight would break out?
The mean streets of Blaine.
The mean streets of Blaine, Minnesota. It makes my heart kind of ache. It really does, unfortunately, that people act like this. Are people getting dumber by the minute? Is this just really stupid people?
No, I mean, I think there's always been these stupid people.
I don't know. Well, it just makes me sad, though. Just think, hey, Andy and Alex are 9 and 11 years old. They're going to a carnival and getting in fist fights. Yeah, that would bother me. I got to be honest with you.
It was 12. It was 13 and 17, I think you said. They were teenagers.
Yeah, there was 14 to 17 were the age of the kids that were fighting. You're absolutely right about that. I don't really understand why, but
The only time I've ever physically hit somebody is I slapped a kid on the bus.
You slapped him. What did he do?
He tried to kiss me.
He leaned over. How old were you?
10, maybe 9, 10.
And he was 9 or 10?
Yeah, he was in my class. And I
So
slapped him in the face.
You slapped him. So what did he do after you slapped him in the face? What did he do then?
He moved to a different seat.
Well, he kind of got the hint that maybe you didn't want to be kissed.
I've never been shy with the get away from me.
No, that's true. You've never been shy with that get away from me type of thing. You're absolutely right about that.
I've been told that I generally exude a get away from me vibe to
You do anyway?
male population.
I don't know if that's true or not. Do you think that's true?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think some women, females, are very like, guys will just go up to them and talk to them, and they're very like flirtatious or just like, yeah, let's talk and whatever. And I guess I've always put off like please don't talk to me. I have no time for you, which it's true. So
I suppose that is true. All right, now to change the subject into something more pleasant, 8 desserts the critics at Star Tribune recommend. Is there a dessert that you would recommend? Because I haven't even seen them yet. I would say for me, a dessert for me is just like a scoop of ice cream. I love a scoop of
is this
ice
from restaurants in Minnesota or general desserts?
It says when restaurant critic John Cheng doesn't want to show up empty-handed, he turns to these Twin Cities restaurants and bakeries. So if you're bringing dessert to a friend of yours' house,
Okay.
here are 8 our critics recommend. So if you were bringing dessert to a friend's house, would you bring cake? Would you bring pie? What would you bring?
I usually am the dessert person because
you are? Okay.
I love dessert and I love baking.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the event, if it's a
true.
summer barbecue situation, I would probably bring some type of pie or a crumble.
What's a crumble?
Like basically a pie without the crust it's in like a casserole dish.
Oh, okay.
And you put like the crumbly stuff on top, kind of like, I'm trying to think of what, like a coffee cake has the crumbly stuff on top, You put that on top of like pie, what you would put in a pie kind of thing. Delicious.
All right, bringing dessert. Here are 8 our critic recommends when restaurant critic John Cheng doesn't want to show up empty-handed. He turns to these Twin Cities restaurants and bakeries. After 3 years living in the Twin Cities, I finally accomplished what I thought was an unbelievable or unachievable thing, being invited to someone's home, albeit following months of aggressive yet polite courting. Thank you for your hospitality. To increase the likelihood that I am invited back, I do two things. First, I refrain from sharing any bold opinions in true Minnesota fashion. I defer to saying interesting when I am lost for words. Secondly, I bring a meaningful gift, so that means dessert. So here, number one looks really good. Underneath the furls of meringue in Black Walnut Bakery's pineapple coconut meringue cake is a chiffon sponge cake. That cake looks absolutely delicious.
Pineapple coconut.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No, that sounds delicious.
Does it? I like
Like a-
coconut and I like pineapple, but together they would?
It's like a pina colada.
No, that's true, yeah.
Where
I've
is
never
this
had
from? When can I get one?
one. Black Walnut Bakery. Does it say where the hell is it?
Black Walnut Bakery. I have not heard of Black Walnut
I have not either.
Bakery. Okay, great. Black
Black Market Bakery.
Black Market Bakery. Oh,
Black
no.
Market, Black Walnut Bakery. God, we're lost here. There's no question about it.
Okay,
It doesn't
Black
say.
Walnut Bakery.
Oh, it's 3157 Hennepin Avenue South. So it's basically a block south of Hennepin and Lake Street.
Hennepin and Lake. Okay,
Yeah,
pineapple coconut chiffon cake. Okay, I'm
No,
writing all these
Black
down.
Walnut Bakery.
Yeah, Black Walnut Bakery. I'm writing all these down because now I feel like I want to
Okay.
try. I love dessert so much.
Okay, number two, an impressive offering from Four Seasons Hotel chef Eddie Danens chocolate square cake. This looks really delicious too. The Four Seasons Hotel's downtown, right? Yeah, 245 Hennepin, right down there.
Listen, chocolate cake. I don't know. I don't know that I go out of my way to go try someone's chocolate cake.
Oh, really?
I mean, I love chocolate cake. I make really good chocolate olive oil cake. And I feel like I would just make that and bring that.
There you
Put
go.
like a ganache over it. Oh, so good.
Patisserie 46
Oh, yes.
Coquettes. You know Patisserie 46?
Oh yeah.
Where is that?
Make is delicious.
Oh, 45th and Grand Avenue, South Minneapolis. A lot of good stuff in South Minneapolis as far as dessert
South
is concerned.
Minneapolis has a lot of really good little restaurants.
They do. No question about bakeries and restaurants.
What was it, Patisserie 46?
Patisserie 46 was Coquettes.
Okay.
We've forgotten about John Krause, one of the nation's most accomplished and decorated pastry chefs at the Glossy Patisseries, whatever the hell it is, confections on display. So yeah, it's Patisserie 46, 4552 Grand Avenue South, Coquettes.
I used to go there a lot when Dan lived near there.
Oh yeah, he did. He lived right down by there, didn't he?
He sure did. And I used to go there all the time and get little.
How about a toasted vanilla pie? Hot Hands Pie and Biscuit has a Nilla wafer cookie crust, vanilla custard, and mascarpone cream. So that'd be pretty good.
What?
That wouldn't knock me out.
Hands pie. It was a what pie?
It was called Hot Hands Pie and Biscuit.
But what's the.
Oh, the toasted vanilla pie is the name of the actual pie.
I like toasted vanilla.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, I agree with you. No question about it. There's only a couple of left here. There's passion fruit raspberry tart. I don't know if I'd care for that. I'm not a big raspberry guy. I don't know why that is. Why am I not a big raspberry guy?
I don't know. I love raspberry. Sage would like that. Sage likes really fruity everything.
Banana cream pie at Revival. That's pretty good. And Revival is at 525 Selby Avenue. That's one thing I will tell you, because I know we got to move on to Timmy here in a second. But that's one thing I loved about you and Andy going to St. Thomas and St. Kate's back in the day, because Mom and I would come over to your neighborhood over there in St. Paul, and there were all these wonderful places along Grand Avenue and up and down Snelling Avenue.
Yeah.
These wonderful places that we would go eat. That was really nice. What was the name of that burger joint again? It was really good. God, what the hell was the name?
Are you talking about what you call it?
What you call it? Yes, that's the
bowling
one.
alley
Oh no, the one's the bowling alleys, but the one about
with the Juicy Lucy.
meat is murder, tasty murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great place. What the Nook?
The Nook.
Yeah, it was called the Nook. It was or it is called the Nook. Yeah. Really, really good, no question about it. But yeah, I mean that's the thing that I love about the Twin Cities the most, to tell you the truth, and I don't understand why people don't get it, is that Minneapolis and St. Paul, even though they're the Twin Cities, they're very different cities And I like that, to be able to bounce back and forth. And I did it from the time I was 18, 17 years old, because I worked at 1500 KSTP, which was right on the border. The building is cut in half by one half is in Minneapolis and the other half's in St. Paul. So we would go to a lot of places in St. Paul, a lot of places in Minneapolis. When I first learned that, I mean, Keys Cafe is right over there, just on Raymond Avenue. It was just wonderful. All the stuff in Dinkytown was great. See, I hope that people do still do that. Go to the different restaurants in Minneapolis, the ones in St. Paul, of course, the ones in the suburbs. You go to the different places in Dinkytown. There are a lot of really great places to eat in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
There are. We went out last night and to dinner, and I didn't realize that we were in St. Louis Park.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to take the kids to a park near here, and I didn't realize there's a Hope breakfast bar in the West End, which I've heard really good things about. So I'm like, this summer, when I bring the kids with me to the podcast, beforehand, we're going to go to Hope breakfast bar and talk about it, because
And where is that?
it's in the West End.
What's in the West End? Okay, so it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. Yeah, I mean, that's like I said. One thing that's great, Alex, is that when I was younger than you. When I was in my 20s, actually in my late teens, started going out to dinner once in a while with either people on the radio station or whatever it was. But there were not very many good restaurants in the Twin Cities. There were a few. There were a couple of good Italian places, a couple of great steakhouses that are still there, of course. Wonderful steakhouses. But the restaurants in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and the suburbs are much better, and they keep getting better and better and better. But there were like 2 or 3 places to go when I was a teenager, and then there was like 5 or 6 when I was in my 20s. But now there are hundreds and hundreds of places to go. Really, really good restaurants. Minneapolis, St. Paul got to be a much better restaurant town, don't you think?
Yeah, there's no shortage of really good restaurants.
Well, breakfast too. Breakfast is a big part of it.
I'm looking up the Hope breakfast bar menu, so that's why.
Oh, that's why you got distracted.
Got my
One thing I
mind.
will tell you, I do miss breakfast at the St. Clair Broiler. I loved going to the St. Clair Broiler. Why
I
did they
know
ever close it?
there were a lot of really good. There was avocado toast and poached egg,
Yes, phenomenal.
blackened cauliflower and fried egg. Yum. Listen, if you put a fried egg on anything, I'm happy.
You're good to go with the fried egg.
Love fried eggs. I made the kids hash browns this morning,
Oh, yeah.
which is a labor of love. Oh my gosh, they take forever. Tofu, quinoa, kale, edamame, potatoes. Oh my gosh, I need to go there immediately. Anyway,
Where is it? Where is the Hope
it's
Grill?
in West End.
But where, though?
Hope Breakfast Bar. It's right by Rojo.
Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, I know where you're talking about.
We
that.
went to Rojo last night because I was like, I want tacos.
See,
and so
that's
we
good.
went.
Rojo's good. You got Crave over there. It's really good.
Yeah, Fawn was like, I want tacos or sushi. And I was like, I want tacos or sushi. And then
Okay.
Dan was like, tacos sound good. So then we went to Rojo because we were like, well, we're going to be in St. Louis Park anyway. So we went to Rojo and I saw that there was Hope Breakfast Bar. And then we drove to Ben and Jerry's.
Oh, my God. What a tough night.
And then we went to Wolf Park Playground, which is a great playground if you're ever in the St. Louis Park area.
Where's that?
It's down, it's like Excelsior and Grand, but it's behind Excelsior and Grand.
Really?
Yeah, it's a great playground. It's not, it's
I
like,
know where you're talking about. Yeah, I do know where you're talking about.
it's big, but it's not humongous. And there's a whole like rope obstacle course separate from it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they played on the playground for a while, and then they did the ropes obstacle course, and then we left at 7:15, and then went home, and then went to sleep.
And you're good to go. Are you keeping an eye out for Timmy?
There he is.
See, I asked just in time. I saved the event.
Banned from studio.
He's banned from the studio.
Yes, I am.
He's banned from the studio.
Were you talking breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
All
Remember
three.
The Embers.
I love the Embers. I loved going to the Embers. Remember the Embers.
We were watching. My kids had never seen Fargo, the movie,
Oh yeah.
and they actually started watching the show with me. And I says, well, you gotta go back and start with the movie. And of course, there's a scene that's filmed, maybe more than one, in the Embers. That's in like Hopkins, St. Louis Park, whatever. St. Louis Park, I guess.
I think
you
it was
could say,
St. Louis Park.
right
yeah.
on 394. So it's like, my God, are there any left, or is that gone?
I think it's gone because I do remember when the KQ morning show blew up and was like the huge ratings, all the rest of it. The guys tried to get the Embers going again. There were very, very nice guys that would bring in food from the Embers, but it never caught on again.
Well,
It's too
you
bad.
could have just hired them to bring in food to you guys, and that would be it.
Yeah,
You have
that's
to
true.
tip pretty good, though. I mean, if they're running their entire business on the queue, though. So
Yeah, that's true. You're
there you
absolutely
go.
right.
But so how are you both, Alex and Tommy? Everything going well?
It's just the two of us. We can make it if we
Just the
try.
two of us.
Just the
Two of us.
two of us.
You
No,
and
things are going well. We were just talking. I was talking to Kristen Burt, KB2, this morning about the fact that television has never been better than it is right now. Catherine and I watched a thing recommended by Kristen Burt called After the Flood on BritBox. Really,
Oh
really
my
good.
gosh, that's right. That's another streaming service that I can't afford. I mean, really, I mean,
I
it is
know.
just so outrageous. And, I have to look into details, but I think Warner Brothers, Max, and Disney Plus, which
They're all coming
has
together.
the umbrella of Hulu and
Yep.
ESPN Plus, they're all merging, they're bundling or something. And again, I have to read into it, but basically the headline was, it looks like we're heading to cable 2.0, which is true.
Yeah.
If you think about it, I mean, now, all these things are going to be brought under, if that's the case, brought under this one umbrella where you can't be carte blanching anything, or not carte blanching, what am I, a la carte, excuse
A la
me.
carte. Yeah, there you go.
Where you can't pick and choose, because that was the biggest problem, I think, with cable, which I guess still exists. I cut the cord a long time ago,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, when you had to take the 200 channel bundle, where half of them were these obscure, more than half, 3/4 of them were these
Oh, God,
obscure
yes.
channels that
Yep.
you didn't need or never watched.
Yep.
That's where they would make their money, it seems. So, I mean, God, I hope we're not headed that way.
I hope not, because like I said, television's never been better than it is right now. I hope they don't mess with it.
Well, I mean, I will say that Netflix, I mean, if you look at different reports, they have won. Indeed, they have won the streaming wars, as it were.
Yes. Yeah, they have.
And I mean, really, when you think about it, I mean, they got oodles of new programs, either originals or, catalog films or TV shows joining the streaming service every single week. So, I mean, yeah. And I know people complain about the $20 a month price tag. I mean, that's how much I pay.
Yeah.
And God, I mean, if you think about it, though,
A lot of
getting
money,
a lot.
man.
You're getting a lot for $20. I mean, especially, let's just say, for the sake of argument, and this is not a paid endorsement, okay? I'm just saying, if you want to see a new film like Unfrosted, for example, which, if it did indeed run in theaters, how much is that going to cost you? And that's it. You and your spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever, go to see this film. $20 is like a bargain, okay? But here you watch the movie for $20 effectively, and then you got all the other programming available for the rest of the month to you. So,
Right.
they're really, I think that there's some sort of a misdirect when you hear about headlines about cable streaming prices rising, because if you really do boil it down, the value is pretty damn terrific. I mean, it really is. So, and maybe that's part of the reason why streaming is kicking movies' collective asses.
Yeah, it
because
is. It's true.
you do get so much for so little, whereas you're rolling the dice if you go to a film, and
Right.
you're $20 again, $20. It's got to be more than that for two people to go to a movie with popcorn and whatever cocktails, if you can get them at your theater. It's gotta be a lot more. So yeah, I think it is a good deal. And so I think that the dust will need to settle at some point once these streamers figure out how much they can actually spend on movies. They can't push users too far with the price. And once they get that all figured out, I think that you're going to continue to see such great programming on streaming TV.
I think you're right about that. It's just, I just like the fact that you have certain categories. Like Catherine and I do like a lot of British television. We just kind of it's kind of weird, and I want to run this by both of you because you're both married. Do your spouses and you tend to agree a lot on what kind of things you watch?
Go ahead, Alex.
We don't watch TV together.
Or you just don't? Because you like different things.
No, we just don't really watch much TV.
They got young
I suppose
kids.
with little
They got
kids,
young
that's true.
kids,
That's
bop,
true.
bop.
Yeah, they got bop bop. As remember, you got little kids. That's a whole different kettle of fish.
Oh
You're
man,
right.
and
You're
imagine
right.
when that was it wasn't so much streaming, wasn't so much my thing when kids were coming up.
Right.
I mean, but certainly movies, and we'd just bring them to every single movie conceivable that we could. Never
Yeah.
to an R, nothing like that.
Right.
Or I'd go by myself. But I would say that yes, we do tend to agree more on the TV stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, we used to always disagree on after a movie.
Oh,
Whether
really?
you liked it or I did. Yes.
Really?
It was crazy.
I wonder why
Our
that is.
taste- I have no idea. I think generally because I'm hyper and I tend to get so enthusiastic about movies and I get so
Yeah.
enamored by them on
Yeah.
the big screen, etc., that I wouldn't say disagree as an I love, she hates, but I would say disagree of me maybe hyping something too much and her not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there were times too where it was like, love it, hate it, completely the opposite. There was something recently that we watched that she thought, what are you thinking? Trying to think what that is. But there was a recent movie, which I really enjoyed, that she just thought, no. It was either that or a series. But yeah, so it is really, really rare on streaming that we don't. Because I think what
Yeah.
happens is that together you watch something, and if you're both excited about it, you continue to watch it. It's not like a book, like with my wife, where even if she hates what she's reading, she still feels this need to finish the book. And I thought,
Yeah.
I'm that way.
cut it and put it down.
I'm that
Well,
way.
you do that too?
I feel like I'm like, I've put in the effort. I just need to see it might get better. I need
Yeah.
to see how it ends. Like I'm kind of that way. And my sister-in-law is always like, close the book, stop.
Yes. Yes. Time is
I
so
hate it, but I can't.
precious.
Yeah.
It's like, and it
You
takes,
want it to get better.
yeah, well, and then it's the same with movies, but at least with movies, you can say, well, 2 hours and it'll be over with.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and also,
Well, unless you're a speed reader. I mean,
and
gonna
it's
be a lot
not,
longer.
yeah, you spend so much time reading a book and you bought the book and you were thoughtful about the book and you've invested hours into this book. And then you're like, I can't just give up now. I don't know.
She just read, Patty, my wife, just read a book. Let me find it for you, because we found out the tattooist of Auschwitz.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely not. No,
Yep.
no.
No,
Yeah,
you're
that's-
not watching that.
No.
Did you read it? Did you read the book?
I would never read that book in a million years.
It's,
My mother-in-law reads almost exclusively war books, like about wartime,
Really?
Yeah.
things that were happening. Like she'll constantly be like, "Do you want these books?" And I'm like, "No, I do not.
I
can't
your
read-
war book.
Can't read books about wartime. It makes me too sad."
Well, oddly enough, I mean, because she saw it, she picked it up immediately. It came out in 2018, but it just as a book, and it just came out on Peacock as a series with Harvey Keitel
Ooh, love him.
and a bunch of other great cast.
Huh.
So yeah, I mean, there are some books like that you, and then there are others that's like, God, I can't. I don't like this book, but I got to finish it. It's like,
Mhm.
Well, that's like, okay, here, All the Light We Cannot See, which was a
Oh,
very popular book, and it was about wartime.
Yep.
My mother-in-law gave it to me during COVID, and I was like, okay, I'll read it. What else do I have going on? I was like, trying so hard to get through this book. And then I finally was like, you know what? I have a bunch of Audible credits. I'm going to buy it on Audible, listen to it at 1.5 speed so I can like get through it, because everybody loved this book. It was one of the like most popular books of the, like, I don't remember when it came out, but everybody loved it. It was incredible, fantastic. And I was like, I hate this book. I hate it so much. And it wasn't even that war. It was during the war, but
It's just depressing subject matter.
it was just, and I listened to it, and at the end I was like, why did people like this? And that was when I decided I can't read any more books ever about war. Like right now, the book I'm reading is about an elderly woman that gets on a baking show.
There you go.
There you go. Well,
Hard hitting.
These
I
are the
will
books
say-
I like to read. It's
I
fantastic.
did not see the series version of that, which was on Netflix.
I was going to
Although-
say, and that came out as a series. Yep.
Yeah, and my wife and my oldest daughter they watched the whole thing, you know,
Yes.
as quickly as they possibly could. I just didn't commit the time to it, but whatever I did see of it was very, very impressive. Especially the lead actor, who I believe she is legally blind.
Yeah,
And
because it's
it was
about
her-
a blind. Yeah.
Yeah, and she was extraordinary for
Well, and-
somebody who's for their first role. It was amazing.
I would watch that show. Like if it was like, oh, this show was really good, I would watch the show. Can't read the book though.
Okay, I'm going to throw one out to you, and this one's actually debuting on Netflix today.
Oh boy.
It's a docuseries, probably about 3 hours long. Ashley Madison, Sex, Lies, and Scandal, about the Ashley Madison extramarital affair website, which began in the early 2000s.
Oh, God.
In 2015, there were 37 million users,
God.
and hackers threatened to shut down. They said they threw out this edict. It wasn't like a what do you call that when they weren't holding it for ransom. They just said, shut it down or we're going to dump all the personal information on this.
Ooh.
They didn't shut it down, and they did a data dump with millions of people. Basically, they're cheating.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's pictures, here's street addresses, here's names, here's everything.
Good for them.
And it's like, my God, what a fascinating series to watch.
See,
I mean,
I would.
well-
My initial thought was, no, I don't want to know about this. I like people cheating. That's awful. But
Oh,
no,
yeah.
oh,
It-
they get it in the end.
Well, yeah. Well, and here's the
Yeah.
thing: the people that the little tagline on the website. And yes, I did verify. I told my wife this yesterday. It does still exist.
Ashley Madison does.
Yes, it does,
Oh,
and it
really?
has the same tag. And I didn't click N. Research purposes, because I wrote a story on this
Yeah.
about this new series. It has the same tagline: "Life is short. Have an affair."
What?
Yeah, yeah, it says it right on there. And there's this woman, so like you can see the.
Okay.
And
No, I'm
yeah, it's really, really crazy. And hold on, I'm gonna.
Life is short. Have an affair. Maybe life is short. Enjoy your marriage. Like work on your marriage. I don't know. What?
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Why
And,
would that
and
be the thing that you'd focus on if life is short? Like cheating on people? Oh yeah, I'll do that instead.
you know, and here these people, like, they chronicle different couples. And hold on, Alex, I'm putting the link into the story that I wrote on it. And it does,
There it
it
is.
does
There's
have,
the link.
yeah, there you go, and it has the trailer for it too. But you know, there were different ways of like the CEO justifying it, saying, "Oh, it actually helps marriages because what you're not getting in your marriage,
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
getting
of
in
course.
this and
Yeah,
da-da-da-da-da."
Yeah.
And then you know, these couples with seemingly perfect marriages, you know, the guy says, well, you know, it just kind of popped up, and I thought, well, why not try that, whatever. And you know, so effectively what happens is that you get marriages which are completely destroyed. You have people like this one guy who checked it out, loved it. He eventually meets somebody else that's using it, and they get together. And her whole explanation was, I love this because I always had affairs on my husband. I never got enough. I never got enough. So eventually these two people get together,
And then
and it's an open thing where they go off and have whatever affairs they want. So, I mean, it really just goes across this wide spectrum of things. And then, of course, they interview some executives with the site, or former executives. They couldn't get the CEO, though, because he resigned. I don't think he's done an interview since. He was all over the media when this site was huge, because obviously very controversial thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really, really a fascinating. I mean, it's like, oh my God, you're just sitting there dumbfounded watching it. It's like, how can you go there? I mean, how do you just in good well, I suppose with any affair, whether you're setting it up through a site or not, it's like, how do you go there? Because as you know, Tommy, if either one of us did that, we'd have to be sleeping with one eye open the whole time. Otherwise, we'd wake up. We wouldn't wake up. We'd wake up dead.
Pick out your grave site. Look, I mean, I suppose in one of those situations that I'm trying to be accepting with this whole deal, that they don't live the same lives that we do, that we have, great marriages and all that stuff, and it's just not necessary for the three of us to do that kind of thing. Maybe some people just are not happy in their marriages. I don't know what the hell it is. But why would you stay with someone if you're not happy with them?
Yeah, that's my question. And also, like, that couple that had an open relationship, good for them. If they're if you're a person that you're like, I can't be in a monogamous relationship, don't go in a monogamous relationship. Don't be part of one if you can't.
Why at the expense of hurting others, though? That's what
not that. I'm just saying it would be smart of more people to realize I can't be in a monogamous relationship, so I should be in an open relationship.
Right.
Because I feel like there are people that are like that. Like that woman, from what you've said, sounds like she probably has a sex addiction. And that's a real thing that people
more or less admitted it. She more or less admitted it.
Oh,
and
really?
And then just eventually, they're like two ships passing in the night. They finally found each other, which is pretty amazing when you think about all of the users. But they did, and obviously it makes for a very interesting story for this docuseries. So yeah, I mean, it's just you're right. I mean, if you're not happy, why be married? But when you got kids involved, man, I mean,
that's a different story.
That's the whole deal. And I mean, this one couple that with the seemingly perfect marriage, it's like, dude, what's wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you? Everything it seems perfect. What's wrong with you? God, I don't know. So yeah, it's those sorts of things though that drive us freaking crazy. And that's why we watch, because, you try to figure out. It's kind of like Prince Andrew doing the Scoop interview. Why? I don't know if you've seen that movie yet, Alex. It's on Netflix. I know Catherine has seen it, about Prince Andrew doing the interview about his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yep.
And I interviewed the actual real life producer that booked him, along with Gillian Anderson and another Billy Piper, who is in the film. And the big question is why? Why? He didn't have to do that interview. And you're trying to figure out, well, why did he then? Why? He went to the Queen. The Queen said, you do what you think is right. He must have thought that he could outsmart everybody. And he got his ass handed to him in the interview. And it led to his downfall.
He did.
He got relieved of all his royal duties and all. Don't go crying for Prince Andrew. I'm sure that he's got a trust fund somewhere and he's getting along fine. But, a lot of these people exist on that their attention, that they thrive on that.
Yeah.
They can't function without that.
Yeah.
So but there again, a question of why. Simple 3 letters, X, with a question mark. And that's the sort of thing that I think gets us watching these shows, because it seems to be we all just said it. If you're not happy, don't get married. or split apart or whatever. But the answer is never ever that simple.
Well, I remember, I think it was one of the kids of 19 Kids and Counting
Oh,
that
God.
was on Ashley Madison, and it was like a whole thing. And it was like, if you're a semi-celebrity, wouldn't you think I shouldn't do this because I will be found out?
Well, I haven't been through the whole series yet, but they said that there were celebrities on this too. So
I'm pretty sure it was one of the sons of the 19 Kids and Counting couple. Who are very extremely religious, and so it was like this whole thing. And I think he was a pastor or something like that. I don't know, but it was just this whole tangled web. And I was like, of course you're going to be discovered.
Well, I remember reacting to the story in 2015 about this data dump, and honestly, I never looked that much into it because, again, it's not my world. I mean, first of all, not my world professionally because I'm not a gossip guy, but also it's like, you know what, I would never go there. So why does this concern me? But it would be interesting to see if there were, I mean, look, Hollywood, I mean, affairs left and right all the time, it seems. So maybe it wouldn't seem like a big deal if you saw familiar names that were outed in this whole thing.
Yeah, Josh Duggar. The first
one of those.
Family.
First outed, the 19 Kids and Counting family. The first outed celebrity in the Ashley Madison hacking.
Oh, wow. Did they have a list of others besides him? Because let's be honest, Josh Duggar, I mean, A-lister?
Yeah, not exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe an A-lister to the reality show world, but, you know.
And then it came out, I forgot all this stuff, that it was like then his sisters came out and said that he had molested them. And
what?
Yeah.
God.
His own real sisters?
Yeah, his own sisters, yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boy, look at the time. I'd love to moves.
Josh's sisters, Jill and Jessica, who had been fondled by their brother, made statements in support of him, expressing shock that the incident had been made public.
Does this guy have his? Does he got his own island because he needs to just go away?
He sounds like he needs an island.
No, not that he deserves or should.
No, like to be sent away to live.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this dude. He's like the worst of the worst. It sounds like allegedly. Gotta get that allegedly in there.
Yeah.
My God.
Okay, I'm looking up other celebrity Ashley Madison.
Uh-oh. Tim's got the old pot of stirring.
Which celebrities were caught on Ashley Madison?
And it's still going though, too. But again, I would imagine that you got a little better cybersecurity going now than you did before.
Okay, Josh Duggar, another Christian family influencer, was caught using the app. Sam Rader, I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
Well, you know, and that
Real Housewife star.
Oh.
So I mean, it's like D-list people. Many government officials.
There's a shock.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah, there's a shock.
So it's nobody like, well, and I'm sure anybody that was A-list, B-list that would have been on it, I'm sure paid many, if they were involved in it, paid many dollars to not have anything leaked.
Yeah. Well, you know, the interesting thing about what you said about different people, it's when you expose the hypocrites.
Yeah.
You know, if you do as I say, not as I do, those sorts of people out there, you
a lot
do
of those.
Yeah, you're really setting yourself up big, and it's not exclusive to what's gone on with Ashley Madison. There have been how many of these religious folks that that have been found out, and then they come and remember Jimmy Swaggart?
Oh God, yes. He went off the deep end.
And he gets up and it's like he's crying and they all forgive him. It's like, oh, dear God.
Yeah, I remember.
So they find a way to get out of it anyway.
All right, that's going to do it for this. Any closing words?
Andy is home. And
he's at home. Good.
Yep, he just text messaged me. He said, you can let everyone know I'm back home and everything went well.
Yeah, thank God.
I was like, I texted him this morning and I was like, how you feeling? And he said once he is able to sleep, he'll feel a lot better. And so now that he's home, I was like, hopefully Ethan will let you rest.
Yeah.
Well, I did see the post from Melissa of him getting ready to go into the operation, and all you can say in situations like this is thank God they got it
Yep.
early.
Yep.
You know,
No doubt about it.
it's a very, very obviously a very frightening thing for him, I'm sure. But you know, I talked to him a little bit on the phone about it after he made his announcement and stuff, and you know, Andy's a cool cucumber, man. I don't know, is he hard to get emotions out of? I mean, he's like I got this, and that's great. I love
Yep.
that sort of thing, but it's like it's
He and I are polar
gotta be
opposites.
frightening. It's got to be frightening.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, he's very like black and white about things, and it's like, oh, it's fine. They'll cut it out, and then I'll take this pill, and it is what it is. Meanwhile, I would be like talking to every single person who would listen to about it, and I'd cry 26 times, and I'd have some sort of manic behavior,
And then you
Yep.
would go, I guarantee you.
and
to
like
the-
I would say I'd be like whatever about the surgery, but just like I'm a very external processor and very emotional. So yeah, it would have been a very different situation.
you would go to what they call the hypochondriac's nightmare, which is the internet.
No, I would not do
Yes.
that. I would not do that. No, I do not Google things. No.
Admittedly, I was a hypochondriac when I was young, right when the kids were.
Okay.
Oh,
Then
God,
It's a
yes.
terrible time to be a
really, I think you were really very, very vulnerable when your children are born, because all of a sudden you have this huge responsibility, and you can't imagine, oh, I can't, how would they, you know, get along if I weren't here? And at the time I lived next door to my in-laws, and they had like this medical dictionary, and I would, you know, it's like little things come up, I'd freak out and go, and I would look at this thing, and it's like it's a tough deal, man. If you
Yeah.
suffer from that sort of thing, but eventually I got over it. I don't know how.
That's good.
It's a, again, hypochondriac's nightmare, the internet.
Yes, it absolutely is. Absolutely. Especially with children. I know so many people that Google like this. My baby has a rash, and it's like it has mercy.
Oh,
Yeah, like
yeah.
terrible thing to do.
All right. Well, thank you both for showing up today. We'll have Nana back, I think, tomorrow.
Sure.
Andy should come back. He was
I'm
talking about
sure-
coming back Wednesday, but I don't
I
think it's
was
going to
like,
happen.
just relax.
Yes.
Well,
Exactly.
and in Melissa's note, she's like, well, Andy wanted to upload something for the show. And it's like, dude, you just had surgery.
Yeah.
Like last night wanted to upload something for the show. I love it, man. I love it. But it's like,
Yep.
you're right. Take one day off, at least
I
one.
was like, I was like, I have to be here anyway, and I know how to do everything. So
Yep.
no stress. It's all good.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
true.
All righty, Tommy. We'll talk Friday morning.
Sounds great. Alex, we'll see you tomorrow.
Toodaloo.
See
Thanks.
ya.
Bye.